There was a survey BCG put out called Flipping the Odds of Digital Transformation. And I'll try to find the right source so I could send it as a part of the follow-up if anyone's interested. But they said that 70% of all digital projects fail. And I would suggest that it's probably higher than that for AI projects, but there's just not enough AI projects yet. And I don't want that to scare anybody, because it all comes back to a few things, right? I said it at the beginning of our conversation. I think it's lack of clear goals from the jump. So lack of clear, why are we doing this as a mission statement? What are we trying to accomplish? Going back to those imperatives, if it's not aligned with those, then there's no way it's going to succeed, because there's no definition of success, or at least not one that's agreed on by everybody. The second one is lack of commitment from leadership. You know, how many times have you heard our board wants us to come up with an AI strategy? Well, why, right? Is it because they want to hire multiple in your company? Well, that's cool, but at the end of the day, what are you trying to accomplish or solve? How are you going to connect that to value for your customers? And those two things could happen together, right? You could create customer value at the same time as creating EBITDA value. And ideally, that's exactly what happens. But a lot of these projects are driven by leadership, or driven by C-level, or driven by the board. And we kind of have to try to find a way to connect those things together. So that's number two. And then the last one, I think, is lack of the monitoring of those success metrics, because I mentioned it earlier too. Assuming we all agree why we're doing this, and assuming we have a clear definition of the goal, if we don't start this project with a clear weekly, bi-weekly steering committee of actually reporting on what success looks like, and not just talking about budget, but actual progress, then I think that puts you in a tough spot, because you kind of get in 6 months into the project, or 6 weeks into the project, you forgot what you're aiming for, requirements are pouring in, and now you've got to either do a restart or abandon the thing. And that's really any digital project. So if you could get those three things in line, then I think that you're going to set yourself up for much higher odds, flip the script, and probably have a less than 20% chance of failure, right? I think it would be lower than that if you could get all those three things working, because at that point, it's a technology problem. And assuming you've got smart people in the tech org rowing in the right direction, you could absolutely figure those issues out.